Okay, so we're talking about comparing decimals. We've talked about place value up in front of the decimal up to the billionths and behind the decimal back to the thousandths, right? So now we're going to talk about how we use those place values to compare decimals. So think about this situation. Sergio and Ferris walk to school. Sergio walks 1 802 thousandths miles, and Ferris walks 1 9/10 miles. Sergio believes he has a longer walk because 802, this part, is larger than 9. Is he correct? Okay, you might think, well, that makes sense. 802 is bigger than 9, right? But that 9 is in the 10th place, right? It's not just 9. So he's wrong, because if I add zeros to that 1.9, if I have 1.900, so there's the same number of place values as the 1.802, 900 is greater than 802, right? So if you add zeros, it's clear that 1.9 miles is actually larger than 1.802 miles, okay? So when we're comparing decimals, you have to align the decimal points, okay? You can use a chart like this, or just a number line, or just write them one on top of the other without the chart, okay? So think of it this way. If I have 13.7 and I'm comparing it with 13.089, so 13 7/10 and 13 89 thousandths, okay? Looking at it right now, I'm like, oh, 89 is way bigger than 7. But if I add in those placeholders, if I add in those zeros here, 700 is way bigger than 89, right? So $13.7 is larger because it has a 7 in the 10th place. Oops. Where 13 and 89, hold on, 13 and 89 thousandths has a 0 in the 10th place. Okay, so you want to go by place value when you're comparing. Okay, if we use a number line, we're going to compare 0.9 and 0.82. So 0.9 is obviously right here, right? 0.82 is going to be just right after that 0.8. So which one is closer to 1? Which one is closer to being a whole number? 0.9, right? So even though 82 looks bigger than just 9, really this would be 90, right? In the place value chart, or in the chart here, place value chart, yeah, I would put 0.9 and 0.82. But if I put those placeholders, again, 90 is bigger than 82, right? I can even put another 0 and put 900 is greater than 820. Either way, right? When you put those placeholders, when you really line up that place value, you just go by the place value, okay? 0.9 is closer to the next whole number, to that 1, right? So that means it's bigger. If you're using a base 10 model, the model here, I would color it in. So I have 1, 2, 3, or I'm sorry, 1/10, 2/10, 3/10, 4/10, 5/10, 6/10, 7/10, 8/10, 9/10. So that would be 0.9. And if I have 82 hundredths, I have 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, and then I just have those 2. So there's all of these right here that are not shaded in, which makes the 0.9, again, the larger one. Okay, so when you're comparing, you can use a place value chart, you can use the base 10 model, you can use a number line. You're just trying to see, okay, if you go by each place value, which one is actually bigger? Okay, just because it's longer doesn't mean it's bigger, because if I put those zeros on the end, it might still be smaller. Okay? All right. I'm going to put some questions in the Google form for you to answer as well. Make sure you do that for class tomorrow.